Holy moly, TDS got a new update that also comes with tower buffs. Wait a minute, nerf. Are you kidding me? Okay, what tower got nerf? This tower is trash.
This tower is trash. This tower is trap.
Now that stupid nerd is out of the way, I'm going to actually explain the actual problem with TDS balancing. The ironic part about all of this is that the problem arrives because of the community itself overreacting to balance changes. What I mean is that balance changes are not always about numbers increasing, but numbers can also decrease. But of course, this doesn't really mean that nerfs are always a good thing, but the community are too ignorant to realize that nerfs are an accessory to make towers not too strong. TDS community go as low as trying to dark threat the game balancer just because boohoo, my tower goes from overpowered to well balanced. Some influencer do really need to do more research before making video. As a content creator, I must be responsible with giving out accurate information to my viewer and don't make quick judgment on something so really, because of influence, something that isn't a big of a deal becomes a big of a deal. But I really wouldn't blame everything on the community. There are some valid criticism about TDS. For example, the Golden Pyramids nerf. The lower level got nerfed way too much to the point it's practically bad in hardcore early game. In comparison to before the nerf, Golden Pyramancer is actually good at handling most of the early game in hardcore. That isn't really the point of why Golden Pyramancer needs nerf. It's supposed to only make it less effective in early game, but not completely ruin it. So hopefully a buff to Golden Pyramancer can be made, so its lower level isn't too bad. What if I tell you that the tower are not the most problematic reason why TDS balancing is not good, but rather it's about how game mode have been left untouched for a long time. Think about it, if the only balance changes we get is just tower buffs, then it only make you win easier, rather than actually being more fun, since the enemy has stayed the same. Which is why game mode is the root of the problem, not towers. My idea on how to fix current game mode would be adding mini bosses just like hardcore, but it should only apply to molten mode or fallen mode. Normal mode can just be given more way to get more money and a better scaling on enemies' appearance, so harder enemies appear later, so you have preparation. The special game mode are quite low effort, because they are essentially a fallen reskin, not a unique experience. Which means, though special game mode needs their own wave layout to be unique and distinctive from other game mode, which would actually make them fun to do, hardcore should get reworked, so it isn't too bland of a game mode. It's the only method of getting gems and that's the only incentive of hardcore. TDS should be a pretty casual game, and won't require you to study the whole game meta to consistently win, much like BTD6. But of course there should be some challenges to be offered for those who want challenge, like how BTD6 has chimps game mode. But what should TDS lean on more is to the casual player base, not the professional player base, since most people simply just want to have fun, not have frustrating gameplay, and this can actually help with player retention. It is actually fine to have tower to be overpowered, just not too overpowered. As long as it's fun, anyone can take it. You shouldn't overcomplicate tower balancing. Simple solution won't hurt the majority player base at all, since they don't care about the stats, they just want a good tower. You can see how by simply nerfing tower is enough to spark an uproar within the community, which is why, when it comes to nerf, it should actually be avoided in the first place, so in the future it doesn't need to be nerfed. That conclude this video. Now you know that TDS balancing isn't as bad as what a lot of people say. It's mostly because of mob mentality and people just don't do their own research. They just want to jump to conclusion. But I guess that's just how internet work, and we need to adapt to it, rather than trying to be reasonable, as sad as it sound. You also learn that TDS balancing should also look at the game mode, and not just towers. With all of that said, thanks for watching this video. This video took me weeks to make, because I like to procrastinate. I'll see you guys next time.